Welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that article. It's pretty interesting if you're into energy and especially if you're investing in oil, because that's what Suncor does. It's not solar energy.
That's such a trick name.
Right?
That is so deceptive.
When I first read that, I was like, oh, this is going to be solar energy. Okay, it's not. It is oil. So Suncor is a Canadian oil company. So they deal with the oil, they drill up there in Canada. They got the sands and the fracking and all that stuff. So their quarterly profits are up quite a bit. And one big reason is just the price of crude oil has gone up. Mostly because OPEC has decreased their production. So that means the prices go up. But you mentioned earlier Russia, Ukraine. That is also causing problems with the oil increase. So
sanctions and stuff, yeah.
You got the sanctions and stuff. So just in general, their profits are going to be up because the price is up. So that's one thing. Another thing is they completed a large pipeline in Canada, the West Coast, and I guess it makes it easier to transport. So they're transporting 3 times as much oil with this pipeline. So that means they can, I guess, get it more places and sell more of it. So that is another big part of this. Just the production's up and the prices are up, so their profits are up.
Yeah.
So that's how it works with Suncor.
Politically speaking as well, I imagine most countries would rather buy it from the Canadians, if they can, than from the Russians right now.
Yeah.
And maybe, other political tensions and worries about the Middle East, maybe they see Canada as a safer option.
Have you ever met someone that was an enemy of Canada?
Exactly. Everybody loves Canada,
Everyone
right?
likes Canada. They have no enemies. So maybe that's also helping Suncor out, a little soft power to go with their economic increases there. So that's why their quarterly profit estimates are up and higher than what people predicted. So if you got stock, good for you. If you don't know what Suncor is, like us, I thought it was solar energy.
So I should be writing this down, shouldn't I? What was it from the previous article? I should be investing in weight loss pharmaceutical companies and now Canadian oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, get that crude oil going. And So let's talk a little bit about the energy prices. You probably don't drive here.
I can't drive at all.
Oh, at all? Okay.
I don't even have a license.
But in general, has the change in the price of energy affected you at all?
I have noticed a bit of an increase, although it seems to have leveled off. I was, when was it? Maybe the beginning of this year, when there was a bit of a scare going around in the press. Prices, energy prices in Korea are going to go up, and it did go up. I noticed it. And it went up a little bit and then a little bit more, but then quite quickly it leveled off. So it didn't continue to keep rising. So I felt, it made me nervous, but not too distressed. I could still manage.
That was probably from air conditioning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, July and August, that's the biggest energy bill of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's huge for me. Oh my God. I just paid it. It's painful.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
It's painful. Just those 2 months.
Thank goodness the temperature has finally gone down.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's been noticeable in some ways. If you drive, you probably noticed it as well.
But I don't know how it compares to your family back home. I felt quite lucky because when energy prices were rising globally 2 years ago, again, coinciding with the start of the war in Ukraine, the British energy prices went through the roof. Everyone was genuinely struggling and feeling like, even though it's freezing cold, it was winter time, I think. What was it, autumn? Anyway, it was cold, and they were like, we're just going to have to put on 8 jumpers and not turn the heating on. We can't afford it. And I was like, wow, it's bad in Korea, but it's not that bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from California, so if you have a heat wave, your bill could be $700, $800 a month.
Oh my God.
it gets a little bit crazy, California.
And you guys have got bigger houses as well, so
That's
you've
the
got
problem.
more space to cool down.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's terrible. Okay, so talking about the UK, you mentioned going green and 30% from 100% is fossil fuels. So what role does energy production play in the whole economy of the UK?
Still surprisingly a massive amount. You know, again, even though we are producing and using more and more green energy, we are still drilling all over the world. British Petroleum, again, as I said, is the largest portion, the largest single company in our GDP. We make the most profit off oil. So it is a big part of it. If we stopped drilling or if people stopped buying our oil, it would do a huge dent in the British economy, undoubtedly. Okay. Yeah. And do you remember when a famous oil disaster, the Exxon Valdez?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was that was British Petroleum, and there was another one. I can't remember the name of it. Was it Deepwater Horizon?
Deepwater Horizon,
the platform.
Yeah.
It was like in the Caribbean or something.
Yeah, I think it's Gulf of Mexico, near Louisiana.
Oh, you guys got the brunt of that.
Yeah.
Lovely, yes.
We're used to it.
But it upsets a lot of people, and then it makes it very, again, politically and socially unattractive to buy from BP, particularly because of their unethical behaviour and bad practices and so on. So, and then it has a knock-on hit effect on the British economy. So.
That's a good point.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Sad but true. How about America? Do you feel it when something goes wrong with energy production?
Oh yeah, definitely. But you know, like a lot of what we produce, like actually we're one of the biggest producers of crude oil, especially, but we import everything. We keep it all.
Oh,
we
I
have
heard
huge
that.
reserves.
Yeah,
like an insane amount of reserves.
Texas is just like
like
sitting on
there's literally an
barrels of
underground
oil.
that they store it in. Like it's crazy. So.
Nobody bomb Texas. It will explode the entire planet.
Yeah. All right. Well, actually, speaking of Texas, we're done with this article about Texas tea. Is what they called it back in the day. Black gold. So take a look at the vocabulary, learn a little bit about this. Some useful words there, and also some interesting words like throughput.
The throughput for the oil pipeline.
Yeah, the throughput. That was interesting. I didn't know that word. So you learned something new. So,
even we do.
Yeah, take a look at that, and we'll see you next time.
Crude oil.
Crude oil.
Aid.
Aid.
Disruption.
Disruption.
Wildfire.
Wildfire.
Refinery.
Refinery.